but China has been absolutely phenomenal. Both dive on the defense, but also on the attack. And that's why Crystal has been subbed in on Assault most series. Obviously, against some of the weaker teams, they've left it up to a little bit more flexibility and I think just some more experience gaining for Shy. But in this case, it will be Crystal. They are going to have counter dive. They're going to leave the Widows and Yada completely out of this. Knowing that Australia is going to dive directly, they want to have that counter dive. They have the hack here with leave. The one thing I'm a little bit surprised at is they take Sombra over Brigitte in this case because, you know, it's very obvious that Australia will likely run this dive. They've been running all tournament long. Australia also has the opportunity that once seeing this, try to run the Pharah. So there is definitely some counterplay as the attacker here once you scout the comp. Hus may, you know, give that information, and then they may swap. But I think that they'll at least attempt this for 1 or 2 pushes.
Well, CKM Genji versus Crystals. Let's see who comes out on top. Australia opens things up for this first attack. Making their way around Hus. A bit of scouting and sightseeing. Cruising his way up, tries to open up. Doesn't really have the best angle there. The pillar kind of blocking his sight line onto Sky.
Okay, they will swap to the Pharah, as mentioned before. That's why Genji was staying in the spawn room until that confirmation came through. That's all that Hus needed to let them know. He's going to stay on the Sombra, it looks at least for now. Can be powerful with the Pharah, especially if you get a hack onto the D.Va.
Oh, well. Just going to have a fight straight up here into the archway. Going to boot them back. The shield's going to be down. However, Drill will fall. Nice opening pick here for China on this defense. Very good look to the start, trying to go for the back cap. They almost get there, up 2/3 of the way to that first tick.
It's a testament, I think, of China's skill and how well they've been able to shut down Trill consistently. Really good focus fire, really good communication because he's been one of the better Winstons here in Bangkok. So I want to point out how well they've been playing around it. Here comes the pocketed Pharah again, just trying to build up a barrage while Hus tries to build up the EMP. That could be a very powerful combo. If utilized correctly, it could just take the point straight up.
Not building up though. Dragon Blade set to go from Crystal. Takes a rocket to the face. He'll be all right.
He's fine. He's okay.
Oh, he's going to go ahead and pocket him up. That Valkyrie is nearly ready. Spamming away. Australia really struggling. Trying to push themselves into the point, even getting the wraparound flank position. Now going to be jumping through with an Nano boost off down onto Trill to build him up for that final range. Blade's going to come down and crack in the first one to fall. Crystal looking for another target. It's going to have to settle for the mech there on the D.Va. Gets one swipe in. Not going to be able to knock Punk out. But Sky gets rid of CKM. The ball comes in. Custa's going to go down.
Yep, Custa's down, and this is going to be another reset push. Hus still failing to get that EMP. Rez coming through here onto Gushle, who will just obviously come straight back to the point with a faster time than he would have if he had to respawn. But guaranteeing they will have a full lineup for the defense. A Kraken going to swap over to the Brigitte. He's had enough of Crystal farming the back line. Mostly been farming with left clicks. The guy's such an incredible Genji player. It's a treat to watch every time. Barrage is ready. Hus just has to keep up his end of the bargain. They can use Trill to set up the engage to get a good EMP. Essentially, they want to stop the D.Va Matrix.
And the deflection from the Genji as well.
Yeah.
Could also be a nice one. EMP going to be coming down. Leave. Going to get eliminated here. A Kraken. Still going to be traded out. Barrage now dropped in. Late Young has the defense matrix up and in from behind comes Crystal. Taking him down. Rez already going to be used onto the Brigitte. Tries to make his way out of there, but will get taken down. Dragon Blade pulled out. Just going to get zapped to death. However, this is going to be an opening. A nice one at that for Australia to get in onto the point. About 5 minutes on the clock unless China can do anything to delay this further, but looks like they're just going to be kiting back a bit.
They had ult advantage. They utilized the EMP correctly, and CKM waited patiently for the best opportunity for Barrage. Not the greatest time bank on record, but it is fairly nice here for Australia. Crystal pulling the Dragon Blade there was hoping to get the kill to prevent the remech for Punk, and that might have actually given them a little bit more room to work with. But he ends up wasting the Dragon Blade essentially because he died right afterwards. He doesn't swap, not going to be trying to do anything crazy. No Brigitte here still for China. And Australia realizing this, moves away from the Pharah, puts CKM back onto the Genji. So more dive-oriented here.
Careful, leaves in behind them, he gets found out. A lot of damage. Trill does the same, drops off that high ground, keeping himself safe.
Trill just trying to build up some of his primal with this, just kind of farming at the moment.
Pushing forward here, Kraken wildly swinging as he pops that rally, offering up armor to everybody. Late Young gonna get taken down. And they transition this in onto the point.
Yes, they
get
can.
some ticks, if not the win. Hus going forward now at the moment. Punk here as well.
Hey, nice hack
down.
there.
The Mercy's going to have to hit the ground. EMP ready to go. Toss that one immediately, but not before the Primal Rage does get triggered here by Gushway. So he is still going to be very tanky and very much a threat. We can address Crystal with a blade. Comes out, gets rid of that Brigida, and now Punk. Australia don't get anything on this push. They suffer the loss of several ultimates, and now it's going to be probably a stagger here on the cusp.
This is such high-level play on both sides. Australia realizing that with that opening pick, they could commit to the fight. They had the rally there. Kraken's going to swap off with the Brigida now, but they had so many opportunities there, and Gushway is just one of these players who's so unkillable. I mean, he saw Plus for 1 millisecond. He was like, I'm prime on right now, because if I get hacked, they could take this whole point. He buys enough time for Crystal to come out. Leave now has the EMP. Just going to go back to spawn here to heal up.
Last ditch destroy the translocator before he goes. CKM finds one. Has the Dragon Blade ready. And Nano boost to come with it.
There's no Brigida. The best tool to stun is going to be a Sleep Dart.
EMC going to be coming out here from lane. They push forward. Kraken's going to go down. Trade on the Honest. CKM finds one, but the front from Crystal just knocks him straight into the wall, and he will fall. No ticks gained here. Already Australia having their time bank basically cut in half.
It's so unfortunate because they were trying to Nano Blade, right? But a Kraken switched over to the Ana late, so it's only at 60% right now. And CKM had it early, but if they try to wait for the Nano Boost, they lose so much time. So after his Blade fails, he's now going to be swapping over the Brigida himself, trying to shut down what Crystal is doing on the Doomfist. Really nice high ground position here for Crystal. He's going to look to just continuously build these shields as he drops off with his rising uppercuts and rocket punches.
One there on the Punk now. He's on the low ground, isolated. And it looks like he's going to get taken out. Yep, loses that one. He will go ahead, uses the self-destruct just to make it back in.
Yep. So that's a very expensive exchange, but Australia just wants the best time bank possible here. Not going to wait for a staggered Diva death. They'll have the time to do so. Crystal just continuing to get these picks, even if it's just a Diva mech. So valuable, gives him shields, and he has the ability to escape while killing someone with Meteor Strike if he's given that ult charge, and he does have 80% of that.
Very close here. Tuss sneaks around, sees all of them, just throws down the EMP as the rest of Australia piles in, trying to win the fight. Crystal going to be the first one to fall, delaying that Meteor Strike, getting rid of that Doom Fist. A bump into the air. The Mercy now going to be falling. China suffering 2 losses, making 3 as Leave will also go down. They finally have an opening to make it onto the point. Try to build up some of these ticks. Halfway to the first one. As Liam tries to buy as much time as he possibly can. He's going to go ahead, dump that self-destruct. The Baby Diva, however, going to fall. And CKM not going to get caught up in the blast. One tick now coming through. They're contesting again on the side. Sky looking in onto the back. EMP comes in from Leave, and that's going to be the kills. Now swinging back into the favor of China. All 3 supports going down. Punk manages just to get the Mercy, but that's about all she wrote here. 55 seconds remaining. Australia have realistically one more opportunity, and they are holding Punk hostage.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to self-destruct remech this time.
And he's got the mech ready, and now he's going to die.
Yep, they knew it too, because they had the hack there. And all they needed, it was actually unfortunate for Australia that Crystal was the first to die, because he had enough time to respawn. He was 80% of a Meteor Strike. That's all they realistically needed to hold there, get the kill onto a Kraken. He builds up so many shields, and it just becomes a nightmare from there to survive as Australia. They get the EMP. Now this is huge. They actually prevent him from translocating back. Yep. That's actually a nice
opening. The rally is here. CKM immediately popping that one will lead the charge in over onto the point. Swinging away. Tuss finds Crystal. Leave swaps over onto the Reinhardt. Now the Mercy gone. No res available. Australia, can they convert this into a win? Huss is going to dump the EMP as they move over into the point. Second tick very swiftly coming through. China have to make their way in. Sky now going to die. Leave charges his way. Finds the pin. And Kraken's going to fall.
Crystal's back.
Now rejoining. Almost has that Meteor Strike. 10% away. Costa's going to die.
Crystal's got the strike.
Anything. Leave taking a lot of damage, but he's going to get topped right back up. Nearly has the shatter. Meteor Strike. Not going to find the kill, but the uppercut will. And they get damn close. But that's going to be the pin coming through. Trill will die. Unfortunately, it does not look like Australia will be able to close this one out with a point beat capture. China, they hold them off.
Another clinical showcasing here of how to run this defense, this stagger, playing around the Doomfist so well. Crystal being such a consistent dive player, being that he could run the Genji, counter dive there on A, then moving into the Doomfist on B, allows him to, because he's such a great player, get insta-picks, because that's what Doomfist does. He kills someone basically immediately with those left clicks. If there's no way, if there's no D-Matrix to stop his Knuckles from doing that damage, he's going to kill someone, and he's going to have shields, and he's going to build, not which is, and I know I keep repeating this, but I want to stress this point, His ultimate is both a execution ultimate, which will kill someone in almost every case, but also an escape. So you could do so much with that on a contest of point B. They played around him so well. Leaves, desperation swap onto the Reinhardt to then force his way into the point, getting that kill into a Kraken. That sealed the deal. This map's not over yet. China will, of course, have to deal with Australia's defensive setup here, which has been another great strength for them on Anubis with Huss's Widow. Very aggressively positioned he is most of the time. And, of course, hiding back, using grapple correctly. I think Huss is a very accurate Widowmaker player, but I think his understanding of how to bait out, you know, jumps from Winston's cooldowns, etc., is one of the reasons why he's such a great Widow, because he pulls so many resources away. Widow is not just an aim hero. I think a lot of people think about Widowmaker as, okay, can they hit headshots? But there's a lot of intelligence that goes into where you grapple, where you place your mines, your traps. Very, very thought-provoking, I should say.
Yeah. There's a lot more depth to it, because you alone can be an attention grabber from the enemy team and then open up for a flank.
Yeah, the threat of the headshot is a powerful thing, not just the headshot alone.
Thought about it.
Yes. Well, Crystal's Genji is also a powerful thing, as we know, and they're going to try to get him around the side. Nice deflection here. If he can get around the side and harass, build a blade, and or knock them off of this treehouse position, it'd be very terrifying to deal with.
The bubble comes in. Crystal, he's going to spot out the trap.
Yep,
say, guys, you know, don't go over there.
It's not the first time we've seen this in professional Overwatch, and not the first time in Bangkok either.
Us now. Nice angle on the late Young. Double tap into the face. It's going to be the pop onto the mech. And the dive comes in up top, and they had a trap ready to go. Gushue is going to get taken down.
Yeah, really nice
secondary preparation.
Yeah, really nice play here by CKM, just understanding where he needs to place those to prevent the dive. Well, this is really all about Crystal building a blade, and that's what China's operating around. Everything else is kind of secondary. And if he can get a single pick and get a dash reset, everything changes in that moment.
No one can hide.
Crystal's halfway there. You can feel, when you know your opponent hasn't gotten completion, you can feel like, okay, this isn't going perfectly for us, but we're building ultimates. We're doing what, you know, is called in Overwatch an eco push. And building that up.
Okay. Well, Rez coming out. He sees that. He knows that the Mercy's in there.
Yeah, he can't do anything about it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Shots coming through. Tagging him up where he can.
He's preventing.
Rez is down. He would love to have another one. Headshot on the Gushue. But as he flips over to the side, Leaf is going to be able to pick up the kill. Gushue's still going to be falling all the same, so good prep work here for Huss. Not going to go to waste. Late Young now popped out of the mech. Spamming away with a pistol, trying to break Punk out. Will not be able to do so.
What's more impressive about that kill from Leave is that he was able to do it by the flanking, or like by flanking, because our Kraken had the Brigida barrier to protect him against the enemy Widow, and he was still able to find an angle. Doesn't end up letting them the point, but now Crystal has the Dragon Blade. It can be pocketed here by Eviltal.
Right over onto the other side here. Kraken going low. Blade still set. Gushue dead, however, so Crystal wants to wait. Hawk still going to be draining down, and now another one. Huss been delivering so well here with these Widowmaker shots.
The Rip Tire is the reason why Crystal is holding onto this blade so significantly. And if he can actually, if they can bait that out somehow, that's when the blade's going to come out.
They want to break Late Young out of this mech.
Yeah, he's stuck. They also are tracking Crystal. Really nice defensive play here from Australia. They have so much information about what China's doing. They will not be duped by this flank.
I mean, they're in such an awkward position here. Infrasight ready to go.
Yeah, this is super weird. They're trying to bait the Riptire this way, I think.
Very bizarre. Here it goes. We're still going to be eliminated. Good luck getting that res.
And this is almost checkmate, because as long as they hold the Riptire, the blade can't do a ton for you.
Yep.
I mean, it will instantly kill. Even with the Transcends potentially coming out to try to get Crystal into a spot to massively, you know, do damage and get those opening kills, it's not going to be easy. Not to mention that there is a Brigida on the other side. Leave, if he can hack Junkrat somehow, I mean, we're really begging for things with that one.
Oh, dive up onto the side again. Gushue this time going to have that Primal Rage ready to go. Leave's going to be the first one to fall. Drop the tire in. He's going to get the break straight onto the mech here against Late Young. Now, Yveltal's going to get taken down. 40 seconds remaining. Australia, can they actually punch their ticket to BlizzCon off the back of a full hold on Temple of Anubis?
It will have to be, if it is not going to be the case, it will have to be off the back of Crystal's blade. They have all the cards in their hand now. Okay,
sneaking around.
Okay, this is everything right now. This Dragon Blade, whether it's a do or die for China, if they win this map, they go as first seed. So very important.
Yep.
They will have to win B, of course, after taking A, but A is the first step.
Reverse sweep is still possible. Australia very well could go in as the first seeded team if they can pull that off, that miracle run.
It has to
It's
be
3 seconds remaining.
this play. Late Young going to try to tag in.
They finally go ahead, contest the point. Keep the overtime rolling through. Dragonblade's going to be coming down. He gets pooped back, dives in, stun, coming in. He's still alive, but now he will fall. Doesn't get anything with that blade. Crystal going to get taken down. CKM also going to be eliminated. No res available. Australia is too concerned about that here at the moment. The Hulk dragging them all together as he tries to get line of sight in onto the Mercy. Instead, he's going to have a sleep connect in onto Late Young. He'll get woken back up. Shui goes low. He's kind of way out. Has the pocket coming in. Now Sky's going to be eliminated. Shui still getting chipped away at as he tries to exit. Punk goes forward, lead in onto the point, but he's going to get taken down. Punk finds a shot. Husk gets rid of Crystal, and they have done it. The Australians, they pick up their map win, and they are going to BlizzCon.
They are going to BlizzCon indeed. Look at how happy they are. It only took one map to do it, and it was a tough attack on B. It looked like it might be hopeless. We're talking about China here. Crystals, Genji, some of the best dive in the World Cup, and they make it happen. Really nice positioning there, knowing that Crystal would want to come through there, get a kill, get dash resets. They were in the choke, they had the rally out, and Brigida was there for the stun. But where there is happiness, there is also tragedy, as this map win will also deny Denmark from attending BlizzCon in 2018. Unfortunate, they were, defeated by Sweden in a massive upset just moments before.
Yep.
And now, no doubt watching backstage in the player area are saddened by the full hold here of Australia. So this win means those two things. But as you mentioned earlier, we still have to decide first seed.
Yeah, there's more to play for here. You know,
Yes.
this isn't done yet. First seed still can be decided. China are still on the cusp of locking that in. They still just need that one more win. Try to close it out with the 3-1. Australia, congratulations, you move into second seed to BlizzCon. China really wants that first place, but Australia, now it's a bit of a momentum shift. Getting full held can really mess with your psyche, as you get ready to move forward through the rest of the series. China will have their map selection, however, we'll find out what that is going to be in just a moment. Something tells me it's not going to be Junkertown.
Yeah, Australia didn't lose that map, so they don't have map selection. It will be the Rialto, the more standard. And this has been the two sets we've seen Crystal on in particular. Remember, you can only sub during halftime.
Yeah.
So Crystal's in. You want to play a map that suits his strengths. So Rialto does make sense. But I completely agree with what you mentioned earlier about the momentum shift, because not only has Australia qualified BlizzCon, they did it through a full hold. The first team to really... I guess Thailand had a decent hold there on Anubis as well, but since Thailand, the first team to really shut Crystal down on Anubis,
yep.
And you got to feel fantastic about that. You know this player is a phenomenal Genji. You've been preparing for this moment. You've been stressed out about this matchup against China. Every team was going to this. Still, China's one win away from taking that first place spot, but you've done what you might have thought 2 days ago to be impossible. And you may wonder, is there anything we can't do now that we've done that? So as we head into this, it will be defense first for China.
And it looks like they might be taking a leaf out of the book of Finland and Sweden here.
Yeah. Scandinavian standoff.
Yep. Going to be going for it, it would seem.
They also have this Widowmaker, which is really a small adaptation to the spawn camp, because you can kill a Pharah that's trying to escape. We know that Australia loves running the Pharah. CKM may just try to do that once they see this comp. You also can, if you hide and the rest of the team spills out trying to deal with the tanks, get those kills from behind the team of Australia moving forward. So it's not something we saw the Scandinavian teams run as much, but it's very powerful here. So
yeah, just based on the posturing here and with a Widowmaker, it seems like it's not going to be the spawn camp strategy. And as I say that, they start rounding the corner.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing more of the...
They're poking their way out. They're just trying to see what they have coming at them.
Yeah, just kind of hiding around this choke, just trying to control this corner. And Huss is already in the back, harassing them. He's already identified everything, given so much vision, so much information to his team.
Inching this one forward. Hook gonna come down there onto Punk. He goes low. Swaying up onto the high ground. Pocket coming through. Custa keeping him alive and getting plenty of charge over towards that Valkyrie in the meantime. Moving back, the Zarya bubble is there, so Custa Blast not going to be doing a whole lot of anything. Pile driver into the back, Huss! Dealing with Crystal, takes him down, opening up the fight.
He's been stalking him all game long, finally gets that kill.
Shui going so dangerously low, but still staying alive here for the moment. get bursted back up. Not going to be going down. Crystal going to be swapping over to the Pharah.
Okay, kind of a rarer pick for him, but he's certainly known for it. Huss identifies.
He's going to get hacked.
Nearly falls into the water.
Yeah, he is so low here. Finally go ahead, heal him back up. It's going to be eyes focused on the ult, and he will get taken down. Wonderfully done here by Huss. Harassing the back line of China nearly with that EMP now. Pile driver comes in from Trill yet again. Yeah,
so much damage being done here by CKM, just inching them forward. The EMP barrage, if they hold that EMP, could be so powerful. They're using it now, though.
Yeah, just go ahead, dump it straight in onto the tanks. They try to burn them down. Punk, in the meantime, however, will go ahead and lose down on that mech. Res comes through, Trill's back into the fight. Crystal as well will be put back into this mix. Barrage coming through. No one's looking at CKM. They're all looking at the hamster. He comes in, nano boost and all, takes him down.
Well played here by CKM, punishing that mistake from China, and that's going to cost them point A. Eviltal steps on here with Sky, but they're just going to have to be in the spawn room here. It's going to be a full reset.
Jumping into the canal at that point.
Yeah, and they're fed over a little bit of ult charge with that, unfortunately. We will see the swaps here, as Lee's not going to be running any further. Roadhog is going to be moving into Reinhardt Zarya with the Sombra. This is actually causing China a lot of lost time, this chase here by Australia. They still have max push on the cart with 3 members. Now 2, as Trill's going to go back and swap over to the Reinhardt, you would think.
Missed the door.
Actually, Winston.
Okay. Not going to be...
They want to keep running the Sparrow to counter the goats instead of running it themselves, so they're not going to swap it.
He wants to do that, and Huss is just doing such a good job of harassing the back line that they want to be able to follow up with that Winston and Diva, perhaps. Yeah. So just try to run dive with Sombra. Come on, EMP coming through.
It's a bump on Zarya.
Young, you are gone. Boucher as well. Going to be going down. Rockets up into the sky. Pharmacy versus Pharmacy. The hack comes in. Crystal hits the ground. The rocket follows him straight through. CKM picks up that kill. China suffering with their own map pick of Rialto. As Australia just plows right through the streets.
Their dive is just so good, and it's dive with Pharah. Pharah weakens the targets. Huss makes the call because he knows where everyone is, because he's constantly getting vision, not just through his passive, but just because he's such a sneaky player in general. And they make a call. EMP goes down. They know Late Young's in a vulnerable position, and it's just so coordinated. Now, one last contest here from China. They're probably going to have to pop this Shatter, but look at the position of China. There's not a good Shatter available.
They do have a multitude of ultimates here, but Leave is going to be the first one to fall. Graviton Surge on standby. Punk, and he denied this one away with Defense Matrix. Will be absolutely huge for his squad, securing this point B push. Rotal's going to go down. Barrage out from Crystal. Manages to find 2. Trill and CKM both going to be falling. Punk gets the heck out of dodge.
Well, Gouche gets to hold on to this Shatter for now. Just going to poke around the corner here using his third person from the barrier. Gain information as to where they're resetting. Are they running a Ryan? Are they staying with the Winston? Identifies it's the Winston. So they have a little bit of extra time here. And they do have the double Ryan Zarya ultimates. Australia's been doing such a good job of splitting positionally against these Shatters, though. He hasn't really had a good opportunity. It was the Barrage that saved them, not the Shatter that he still holds now. The Pharah is such a great counter to this, and the execution from Australia makes it so difficult for China to actually just play what's considered the most meta comp for the map. Look at the setup. It's so difficult to think, I can just shatter this. You cannot. Not easily.
Well, Australia have slowed things down a little bit. And Crystal slowed them down even further, grinding them to a halt, at least for the moment. Rez will come out. Just to put their Pharah back into the mix. Dive in, nano boost thrown down onto Trill. Got Primal Rage now available. Tap it away. You can hear that Deadeye coming down. Managed to get rid of CKM. The Rez, I believe, is still going to be on cooldown. Flashbang in, Trill falling low. Goes to rejoin with the rest of the squad. And overall, 2 ult commit comes through, and Australia come up short.
They do come up short. It was really well played by China. This nice bio grenade there as well onto Trill, making his Primal Rage less effective. Huss was patient, though. He's the information giver. He holds the EMP, and he's got a great angle now.
Oh, detected. Do they really
I don't know if they noticed him.
Oh, they're looking for him.
Leave blind flashbangs.
They know that he's somewhere nearby, but they're not exactly sure where. Pump up into the air, throws that one down. Lee Young going to be focused out. The pocket's coming through, and he's going to be able to stay alive at least for a little bit longer.
He's
here.
so low. He's
Charged through, the bubble comes in. They finally manage to take him down. Barrage out, however, Crystal will get rid of Trill. That's going to get everybody. A Kraken and Punk all going to be going down. Huss just bailing off the side. Australia, is this where they get halted? Is this as far as they can go on Rialto?
It may be, and it may be what cost them that first seed, the BlizzCon they've just obtained. But Australia, they have the swap now of Huss over to the Widow. They've been so frustrated for the first time, I think, in this entire group stage with an enemy Pharah, that they're going to try to change to Widow to deal with Crystal's Pharah. They're the ones who've been abusing the Pharah, you know, throughout this tournament, dealing with goats, countering it. CKM with the fantastic Pharah. For the first time, they're going to swap. Gushui holds this shatter.
Dive in the bomb from Punk! Takes down 3! The Pharmacy Cup gone! The Zarya gone!
Over the wall, so well done, just sending it right over his head. His positioning, where he's been sitting there the entire time. You feel invincible as a Ryan sometimes like this, but they are able to send it over that barrier and take that kill there. So very, very well played by Team Australia.
And Raj, nearly ready.
It almost feels like Gushui may never use this shatter.
Yeah. Just keep on holding it.
They're going to push Australia back and try to fight over this choke. Even though they lost point B, they can still use this archway right here where they stand to prevent Australia from getting an easy route in. CKM's actually flanking around the backside. It does come back to front and center, as you guys can see here. But he's looking for an opportunity to barrage behind enemy lines.
Up over the top. Bit of damage in onto the Ana, but not going to be finding a kill. Duking it out with Crystal. Direct hit coming through.
Remember, China has no diva with this, so this barrage, if it gets behind a Reinhardt shield, can be devastating.
Oh, Crystal, while duking it out against CKM, just happens to take down Huss, and then gets the Pharah in the mix. The rest is going to be used. Drill gets pinned. He's in way too deep. Doesn't want to use the Primal Rage. Knows that they have one more chance to try to push this over the finish line. But look at the ultimates here for China. Nearly 6 online.
Yeah, Leave is just being such a threat. You know, Huss hasn't been able to get the same line of sight. As I say, Caster Curse, he does finally knock Crystal out for the first real pick that he's gotten on this Widow. He's looking for more.
Swag goes low.
Look at CKM, he's fine!
Yep, way in, Leaf goes slow. Gets healed back up, and CKM's not going to be getting anything. The Deadeye comes down, gets a bit of damage in onto Trill. Pocket coming through, and he's not going to make it back to the ground with his life intact. He will get punished. Now Custa is just skirting around like a moth trying to stay alive. Somebody's got to tag the point. They managed to work their way back over. It's Punk, but the heal Deadeye comes through. He gets bursted out of the mech, and that should just about be it. A very heroic attempt that we saw from Australia. They bought themselves a little bit more time, a little bit more distance. But now they have to have another immaculate defense against China if they want to extend this series and keep their first seed hopes alive.
Leave has just been showing what McCree is capable of all series long, and hitting those headshots obviously is something to I guess, you know, take awe at and look at it and be impressed by. But his positioning as well as his knowledge of where Huss is going to be on the Sombra, it's next level, you know, and these two teams playing around each other strategically so well ends up being cool. You see things like Gushui hold a shatter for forever because Australia's countered his composition, so it's not even ever going to be valuable basically, but he still holds the Rhine. Then you see, because he's been standing in the same place repeatedly, Punk launches the self-destruct over his barrier and just barely gets it behind him and ends up with a triple. And you always feel invulnerable in that moment.
Felt like an outfielder looking up at it. He's like, I got it, I got it.
Hits him smack in the head.
I'm gonna get the catch, and then it just hits the ground, and you know, Australia runs in 3 bases.
Yeah, well, Australia absolutely can do this. We've seen again what they're capable of on the defense, and you know, Anubis, not the only map they're great at defending really well, and we've got almost. So we've got some crazy Australia cheers, I think, in the crowd here, but China as well.
Yeah, answering back is China.
Yeah, it's a lot of excitement here for what may end up being one of our best series of this group stage. And China, this is a map where, sure, they can run the Crystal Pharah, and we saw how well he can play it previously on defense, but it's not really what they like to do. But I think they've been so shaken by CKM's Pharah here that they're trying to maybe perhaps match it, do something a little bit different. And that is, for the time being, what we're going to see. So sticking with this as they head out with Leave on the Widow. Lots of ways to shut down what Australia's most comfort, bread and butter composition is here.
Oh, that's a great start.
A knockoff kill.
Off the side.
Yep.
Take a dip.
So great start here for Australia. As, you know, right now, Leave is just looking for line of sight onto CKM. He just got it.
Oh.
And finished him off.
Yeah, has the double tap. Takes that far right out of the sky. Huss trying to reposition. The rest will come down. The bubble offered up just to protect Custa, making sure that he can go ahead and get him back in the fight. Duking it out. Top to the face. Crystal cutting his way back into the Winston, offering up extra damage as they try to kill him off. Somewhere leaves a lot of fire.
Yeah.
He's going to get killed.
I think Huss found him.
More than likely, but oh boy. That Ana damage coming through a Kraken. Taking him out.
And that's actually the only thing that Australia has that's really good against the Pharah is the Ana in terms of range. And so it's really important that a Kraken's able to make this happen. Leave, though, still a threat. Actually flanking a little bit here. Does back off. China's got this slow burning push coming through here.
Giving up some ground. Leave popping up over the top, looking for an angle. Still coming through. Nade having to be used on the drill.
There's a nano.
Slow, yes. Have to pop that nano, trying to get the heal back in. Taking a lot of damage. Over in, looking for leave. Right to the side. Barrage comes down from CKM. He claims the life of both DPS players here on the side of China. And now Kushui way too far forward. That bubble coming through, but it's not going to last him too long. McCall is trying to just skirt his way around, trying to go for that res, but instead he's going to have to float up into the sky with a Valkyrie, and then eventually
the Zarya bubble keeps him alive.
He's either going to get out of there and just burn the ultimate, or he's going to die. Seems like it's going to be the former.
Huss holds onto this EMP now, though, so even though China has this regroup and they have the cart pushed to a point where they could use the shatter and the grab on the archway, which is exactly what you want to do, Huss can ruin everything in one instant with a well-placed EMP. So just waiting to find out where Kushui is going to approach. Look at this vision that Australia has at the moment.
Moved off the top here. His drill, EMP now coming down late. Young going to be the target. Falls low. They heal him back up. The nano going to be tossed in onto that Zarya to keep him sustained, and he finds plenty of kills here. China, with that team wipe coming through, will be able to lock down this point A.
And once again, Huss will feel the need to swap over to Widow to deal with the enemy Pharah. We have Widow Pharah on both sides.
Sleep on the punk.
Yeah, very impressive.
Making sure. No chance.
Crystal does get a little bit ahead of himself and does get taken out here, but it'll be traded back by Leaf, who is flanking. This is going to be a fight over this res, actually. Shatter position is great.
Oh, gets whipped up, he flips to the side, and it's just gone a whip. Throws that one straight into the desk. He had a bad time with the concierge earlier, it would seem. But not going to be getting too much.
Ooh, knocked off.
He's on the boat. He gets the boat. Oh, the boat's the MVP.
Does anyone else think there's too much RNG on this map? I don't know if that's fair.
What if we replace the boats with launch pads, Wolf?
Oh, man.
Oh, dear.
You stand on the boat, you like get heal denied, though, like a bio grenade.
Oh,
no.
man. Doesn't find the shot onto the Mercy.
Well,
the heartbreaker there.
The cart is still rolling as they have control of this right now. As Huss is trying to win this sniper war, but he doesn't have good line of sight. He's going to go for the flank instead, it appears. Around the backside here, this can be very effective if you're unseen.
Looking for an angle. So far, I believe he's undetected. Oh, pin into the back, though. Trill going for a ride. He's going back to the start of the map.
Yeah.
Just to try to stay in the mix here.
Lee finds him. Huss, by the way, he does get taken out. Trill is still on the wrong side of the map, so rejoining his team is going to be a near impossibility. Seal denied here. He's going to go down. This is a free push for China and free ult charge for the contest. It's a big mistake from Australia. They had the risky flank from Huss, and then Trill dove in. One of the rare moments where they'll actually be, you know, a little bit on different pages, this squad that's so good at coordination.
Yeah, they got to catch him now. They got to stop this cart and try to gain control. There's Australia, because after that, with the time bump coming through, it's going to be that much more difficult to try to hold them. And that one final choke really is trying to drain down the clock. Stuck going to be tossed in. Pump not going to be finding anything, but Huss gets Crystal. Barrage coming down from CKM. He gets pocketed up. We'll find Kushui taking him out. Flip to the side. Leave. Also eliminated. And as I said, this was the moment.
Sure.
They get control.
Yeah.
For how long is
Exactly.
the question? Look at the war chest here from China.
That was the antithesis of a ult efficient hold. I mean, they had to use everything.
Okay.
That's a great
More
stagger.
time buys.
Buy in about 30 seconds or so with this, realistically, as China has to stagger back. And Kushui is going to lose his barrier, yeah. Rez is forced by so much time. But the scary thing is, as you mentioned, the war chest. And Leave, if he is able to find line of sight on CKM, push him away, and then give, line of sight on the Huss, push him away to give Crystal an opportunity for barrage. He can set up so many things. Nano means Gushui's positioning is whatever he wants to set up a shatter. Good split here, though, for Australia. He doesn't have a good angle yet.
Getting chunked out. Nano going to be coming down in onto Trill. The bubble thrown in. Dissuading that Earthshatter, but now tosses it down. Not sure how many other people he called, but it was the Winston. And he is going to fall. Huss manages to get rid of Crystal as he pops that barrage. Follows up here from CKM on to the Mercy. eliminating him, and Custom has the res, putting the Winston back into the mix. So still holding onto this cart is Australia with 55 seconds remaining. Wolf, can they pull off this hold? Can they force us to a game 5?
It looks like it so far. China's forced to put Crystal onto a Hanzo here.
All these staggers.
They're so desperate for the grab Dragon Strike combo that they're going to run this. And he got staggered again.
Another one.
And they keep killing Eviltal.
Another one!
They keep killing Eviltal to prevent these reses as well. Huss is just on fire right now. They don't have time to build a Dragon Strike for Crystal anymore. There's never going to be another Shatter. So Gushui's going to have to switch over to Winston. As you can see, he does. Crystal onto the Genji. But they got to get on this point right now.
The young chunk down. They can get rid of him. Take him out of the fight.
Evil's on the target. He's so low.
He goes so low. Pocket it back up. They keep him alive. Pops the Valkyrie. Drill hovering on the bridge at the moment. 4% now away from that primal rage. Jumps his way through. Crystal getting zapped to death. Falls low. Pocket comes in. Manages to stay alive. CKM up in the sky. Throwing down the rockets.
Grab
dive in onto the point. Drill just spamming around, swinging wildly with that primal rage pop. The grab not locking down anybody else. Pump getting pocketed back.
He's
up.
sticking on this point.
Be dead. Crystal down to half. Gushui the same. That's the Mercy gone. There's no support. The Diva Bomb comes down. Not going to find a pick, but Punk makes it back into the mix here.
Crystal still alive.
Has no HP, just a sliver of it remaining on this Winston, on absolutely everybody who's trying to stop this card to get it pushing, but they can't do it. Australia, they hold them off. We're going to game 5.
We are going to a game 5. This final map will decide who gets first seed from the Bangkok Qualifiers here in Thailand. Such calm, collected faces here of the Australian players on the stage. It's their fans who are the direct opposite. The fans will show the emotion for them, as this is something that going to this group stage, most people would have never expected to occur. And look at this crowd. This is, by the way, Australians traveling to Thailand. That's how passionate they are.
Absolute insanity in this series, in the crowd as they go wild. Australia trying to pull off the reverse sweep to gain the first seed out of Bangkok into BlizzCon.
It's a lot of discussion here.
What a story this is turning into.
Yeah.
And even if they don't get this, even if this is still going to be China winning it with a 3-2, they advance in first seed. This is still such a great storyline for Australia, encouraging for the fans watching, for the team as they get ready to go into the World Cup, you know, the top 8 in Anaheim. Absolutely crazy performance these guys are putting on right now.
There's just a lot of discussion here to be made, I think, online about individual players going to Overwatch League, for example, showcasing their performances. But to me, I think the biggest standout for Australia, again, throughout this entire group stage is preparation and execution of strategy.
Yep.
They are just so coordinated. This unit right here.
Here we go, guys. The final map of this series. This one's for all the marbles.
This
Lijiang Tower.
This set of 6 players might just do it. They might be the only people who could get that reverse sweep. And, you know, Thailand was so close, but they were too far to get it there in the end. And what has been so far I'd say by far our most close competitive group stage here for the Overwatch World Cup in 2018. When we were on the pole, very, very many maps ago, 3 maps ago, we were on the pole. When it ended, we were praising the McCree play for China. It was by Leave and Shy, both of them swapping over to that hero. Crystal's in the booth now, or on stage, I should say. Sorry, my old Apex habits coming through. But Crystal's on stage now. He's the one who's locked in the McCree. We know China operates around the McCree so well, bursting down Trill, bursting down CKM's Pharah. Will Australia change it up, or are they just going to play better here, or at least attempt to eliminate this McCree? That's the big question we have.
Oh, right now they're not changing up the comp. Still going to be seeing Huss on that Sombra with CKM coming out on the Pharah. As we move into Gardens, maybe we'll get to see more of Huss's Widowmaker, which has just been so great to watch.
Great angle here, actually threading the needle with these rockets.
Yeah, just trying to layer him in there. Unfortunately, not getting too many connections. Swings coming down. Trill falling low, will be eliminated. Young hounds him down, and Custis going to fall as well.
Oh, man. Crystal, how many heroes can he play at the highest level? Fist bumps the fans there with the melee attack. Full control to China now. So difficult to dive this, so difficult to approach the Pharah, and they will not do it. They will match the McCree now and run CKM on this Brigitte. So they're down on ultimates. It's a tough call to make, but they're making it quickly. But still, it's going to be difficult for Trill to be relevant against this much burst damage, especially with the increased fall-off damage.
This is the restraint that we saw lacking from a lot of other teams.
Oh, he lives!
He lives. I think 34 HP was the number that I saw, but yeah, this willingness to go ahead, sacrifice whatever ult charge you had because you need to get on this soon to match is great to see from Australia, even if it's not working out so far. You get the res back onto Hus. Deadeye coming down from Crystal, and it's a triple kill! He just shuts them all down. He says, there's only room for one McCree here on this map, and it's gonna be me.
This town ain't big enough for the two of us. Triple there, so well played, timed out to wait for Punk's defense matrix to fade away. And again, I mentioned this once before, I will say it again. McCree, since the beginning of competitive Overwatch in China, has been a staple hero. So almost every DPS player in the region plays him at a high level. Undead's the first famous one for that. But now we've got Crystal here, and he's just dominating the playing field. Trill's going to have to primal here if he can live.
Hus finds an opening. Crystal going to be going down for the resident there instantly. They put him back into the fight. Hus nearly with a Deadeye pushing forward. Pot shots over at the Winston. Gushue jumps up, back down, rejoining with his squad. The Primal Warrior's going to get popped by Trill. Jumping the bomb is Late Young. Throwing out that self-destruct, looking for a pick. Not going to be finding anything this time. Hus uses his own Deadeye, finds only one target, but it's going to be Crystal. Still going to be pretty happy about that one. Flashbang down, looking for the shots on the lead, but will not be able to find them. And Australia still pushed off of the point. China maintains control.
Yep, they certainly do. They're going to have to commit to one more fight, but they don't have support ultimates. The longer fight will be theirs if they could build that transcendence. Not going to be easy to stun.
Shield Bash comes in, the bubble going to be dropped. Late Young going to get burned out of the mech. Gushue dangerously low. Has to leap out. Flip comes through. Australia finally gained control here. Not going to be going down 100-0 as they keep zapping out. Leave cornered in. Trill gives him a final punch, sends him back to the dropship.
Okay, so they have Hus with a Deadeye, and they have the Primal available. This is a really nice setup for Australia to hold this point if Hus can do that burst damage. He needs to be well protected, though. He needs to be mostly the target of the armor packs coming through from CKM. Kraken already has his armor, plus shields, plus Custa has the rally still withstanding, so all the armor should be focused onto Hus right now. He can burst down Gushue if he can hit those headshots and if the Discord orbs are true. Let's see, here comes the dive from Gushue. Deadeye.
Deadeye coming out from Hus here. No one really mitigating.
Just a
Tries
delay.
to go for that poke. Going to be getting anything.
Still very significant delay.
Yep, buys them time, buys them percentage. Drill in the corner, going low. Push forward, coming out. Going to pop the primal range. Aggressive against China. Sun comes in, however, they lock him up and they melt him down. Now Crystal with a Deadeye of his own, tosses that one out. The kill from Late Young. Two of them coming in off the back of the bomb. CKM and a Kraken both going to be going down. This is going to be looking like a wipe onto the side of Australia as China gets ready to regain control. They'll tag back in, delaying it just a little bit more. Pile driver out from Trill, but doesn't even get the shield. He gets melted down. OT going to be taken away. Not sure if they can tag in to stop this, and even then, getting the capture back would have been very hard-pressed for Australia. But China, they start things off on Lijiang with a win.
China, energy offered here from the fans. They are just one control point away from taking that first seed from this very competitive qualifier. But Australia fought hard to get there. They're not going to give it up that easily. As we move into Control Tower, we'll see how this matchup does sort of fall into place. But it's been on the back of McCree from 3 different Chinese players. You could feel the flavor of the region as well in this final series. It has given them so much success. We will see standard, as common as it gets, GOATs with the on the variation here from China. Australia, this is the one map of these 3 they could really run the bar as an answering comp. So good matchup here for Australia. They have to make it work, or China is #1 in this group.
You stole it from me, all right. I had that one in my back pocket, but it's fine. You can go ahead and get out of the way. You'll do the haha spam in the chat for once. Normally, it receives that. Crystal looking for a target. Finished around the sides. They pushing up through main here. Move back, they separate, way away. Not follow up to try to get a kill onto that Reinhardt. He's dipping away outside, leave, taking some hits from above. Cam just layering in these rockets, takes a little bit of damage. A smattering of it, now a lot of it. They jump on and Sky has the final select to go ahead and knock him right out of the sky.
Okay, Gushui doing so much damage here as well. This is going to be China controlling the first flip. And approaching with Pharah, once this has been controlled, where you have an ult deficit, is so difficult. CKM may have to make a tough choice now as he is caught here and stunned. Getting through this choke point with the Pharah, not really reasonable even. So he may actually have to swap over to Brigitte to try to burst his way through. He's holding it for now, hoping for the best. But Shatter is going to be the first ultimate China uses to control this choke. You can see, I mean, there's just no other really way to play around this. You're going to have to take a bad fight sooner than later, otherwise you're giving China too much control meter. Sneaks around the backside here, but he can't control the point alone. He does force China to react.
Yeah, CKM and Huss both just harassing Late Young, but he can just get those heals coming in from the back. From the Ana. And it's actually going to be tossed in onto him.
You get that
trying to deal with this issue. Now Sky going to be all on his lonesome. One rocket, Late Young barely taking any damage with that nano boost still up. CKM falling low. Pocket coming back through from Custom, helping to keep him alive. The EMP now going to be dumped in. Rush comes down, looking for the hit. Manages to find one. The Sleep Dart comes through. CKM, can he make it back up? This guy with the Slave attack. The answer is going to be yes. The pin comes out from Gushui, takes down Trill. Finally go ahead to get rid of that Reinhardt. Rez coming back in. Winston's into the mix. Australia operating his 5-man there. As Haas will get taken down. Flip still not coming
barrier.
Nearly 70% the barrier is going to be committed here from China.
Oh,
Round search now coming in. The tank's going to be locked up for the bigger bang. Will come through as Late Young knocks Punk out of the mech. They follow up Australia, just dropping like flies left and right here.
Crazy good crisis management from China, using the nano boost there to buy time on the point, not letting the tanks in, only the Pharah is in there. So well played by China, such good crisis management, and they've practically done it now. That was all they needed to do to hold this. There's one fight left for Australia. Trill backdooring the point currently, he has Primal.
Now a Kraken's going to be going down CKM with a swap over onto the Genji. Just not tanky enough, and they know exactly what Trill is up to. They try to boop him off of the point here. Spam it away, Primal Rage going to be coming down.
A kill on the Sky.
Finds one, Sky going to be going down to that self-destruct. Shui, however, goes in with a pin, finds Kusta, taking him out of the fight. Now no speed boost. CKM desperately swapping over onto that Doomfist, trying to turn this fight around. Several members dangerously low. The punch comes in. The Reinhardt's going to fall. And leave is out of the fight as he has to kind his way back and get some healing coming through.
They don't get alive
into the back. That big slam comes through. It's going to be the self-destruct up into the air. He's had some great ones so far, and he's still going to be able to find CKM, but he can't make it back to the back. Trill is there to confirm the kill onto the Baby Diva. Cap starting to come in. Australia halfway there. Another grab coming down. Trill and Punk locked in again. They managed to survive for the moment, but Punk's suit is dangerously low and it will get popped. Shatter ready to bubble in the way. Fire strike to the face, and China have done it. They are #1, as you say. They punched their ticket to BlizzCon earlier today, but now they know that they will be going to Anaheim as the first seed team out of the Bangkok Qualifier.
Absolute madness. The series was phenomenal, and the crisis management we saw against the backdoor attempts there, the hold of the choke, using Nano Boost with its new burst heal to make sure that Late Young could survive. Not to mention trading up in ultimates in that last fight. China deserves this win. They win the final map in spectacular fashion, dominant fashion. And again, it does, remind you that McCree is very, very powerful, and it's when put in the hands of players who've been playing McCree since the beginning of their storied careers, they're going to do well with it. And on Control in particular, they certainly did. 3 different players running that hero, Leave Shy and Crystal there at the end. And this team had intelligent, roster swaps, substitutions, I should say, throughout this tournament as well. But boy, did Australia give them a run for their money.
They got so close. It went from just, please, can we win one map, to, hey, maybe we reverse sweep this and get the first seed. Absolute insanity. And I'm really, through this series, I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of fans of Denmark watching from home are going to be upset that they don't get to see their team representing them at BlizzCon. But I think that Australia really did prove that they deserve that spot with this run that they nearly pulled off, almost that reverse sweep. Unfortunately, falling short at the finish line there on Lijiang Tower. But China, they got it. They locked it in. First seed coming out of Bangkok. Absolutely stellar, and congratulations to them and both of these teams advancing, because it's just it's been a really breakneck pace set here in Bangkok. A lot of back and forth coming through. A lot of really scrappy, scrappy games.
Well, I believe we have Crystal on stage for an interview with Zoe. So Zoe, take it away.
Do indeed. Thank you so much, guys. Crystal from Team China joining me for an interview. Please give it up for him and his team. This match went all the distance. It went all the way into map number 5, and it's been a wonderful match to actually watch on this very stage. You managed to get that first seed, so I have to ask, how important is it for you and your team to grab that first slot?
对，就是恭喜一下，这次以全胜的姿态，能够以小组头名头号种子进入到暴雪嘉年华的比赛。请问夺得小组头名头号种子对于你们的队伍来说意味着什么？
意味着我们可以避开其他国家的一些强队，小组第一，然后我们就可以打一些比较简单的。
Yeah, obviously we're happy with the results. We get to avoid some of the stronger teams who are also, number 1 seeds from the other group stages, and we gonna play some of the weaker opponents at the first round at BlizzCon.
All right, that means you can warm up to them in order to get to those finals. We wish you and your team the best of luck. Now it's time to celebrate and also, of course, relax a little bit after this intense group stage. Once again, congratulations to you and the team. We're now heading over to Mika, who's standing by with Costa from Team Australia.
Thanks, Zoe. Yes, as you said, we have Costa here from Team Australia. You guys did it. You got the maps that you needed. You are going to BlizzCon. How are you feeling? Are you going to celebrate, or is it right back to the grind?
Yeah, the team's really excited about the match. Big shout outs to Sweden for really pulling us across. We were scared. China's an incredibly good team. It was always going to be a hard win, but when we knew we only had to win one map, we knew we could take it.
Absolutely, and I know your voice is a little shot right now, but for all the Aussies in the audience right now, would you lead them in another round of your famous chant?
Sure. There might be a voice crack somewhere in the middle here, so work with me. Are you ready? Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
Thanks, guys. Thank you to the Aussies. Thank you to Costa. Thank you to everyone for being here. And now we're going to throw it back to Wolf and Achilles to break down all of the awesome action that we saw.
Thank you very much, Mika. Good to hear from Costa, and good to see that he's powering through the chant, even though his voice is weakened just a little bit. I know how it feels, man. That contender season final.
Yeah, I mean,
and then we went to karaoke after that. That was an interesting
As
night.
long as Costa avoids the karaoke, he should have his voice back for BlizzCon.
Yeah, I would highly suggest don't do karaoke while your voice is in that state. But man, what a series. The Aussies out in the crowd can still be very proud of this performance. They know that they're going to BlizzCon. Now the question is, are we going to be seeing those guys in the front row at BlizzCon as well?
Well, we'll have to wait.
Book and fight. It's worth it now. But I hope you get a badge, because those things are... They sell out.
They're tough, man.
They sell very quickly.
Maybe they already got their badges. That's sort of like, well, I hope Australia's there.
Yeah, please.
Get some more value on my BlizzCon. But yeah, it was a really amazing series, and I think that Australia really showed their flavor throughout this entire event. But there were so many teams, and I'm not going to name names, but some of the weaker teams at this group, I think that weren't able to show adaptability when their comfort wasn't working. And I think that Australia was able to show that quite a bit. Mm-hmm. They were very willing to say, this is not going to work against what China is running. We have to use Plan B. Yep. And Plan B worked a lot of the time. They were willing to do that. They were always prepared to do that. Their preparation and execution at this event was phenomenal. And I think a lot of people think this is a massive upset that Australia gets out. And, I think a lot of people didn't expect them to do this well, especially against China, given how the group went. But when you look at how they prepared, it's not really a mystery. This is just what hard work and good execution will lead to.
Yeah. Well, this has been a long series here. We've been talking about it for a while. Let's go ahead and see what you guys at home have been saying on Twitter. So you take a look at the fan polls brought to you by T-Mobile. The drama is worth staying up for. 4:30 a.m. where I am, and no regrets.
No regrets indeed for that series. Very intense one. If you're tired in the morning, you're going to be thinking, but it's so worth it.
I imagine that the rest of Twitter, Reddit, and all that, it's going to be just full of comments saying like, "Oh my God, if you missed this game, go watch it. Go watch the VOD. Here's the link. It's amazing."
The people who went to sleep, who missed it, they're going to be the ones with the regrets.
Exactly.
They're going to be the ones having
those fools.
that second thought.
We'll take a look at another one. Someone put a packet of Tim Tams on the payloads of Team Australia. We'll remember to contest it. Oh boy.
There's probably some Australians out there that don't love Tim Tams, but I haven't met any.
They're pretty tasty.
They're pretty good. I'm not Australian, but I love it. I'll wear the Australian flag behind me on this one for Tim Tams.
He's shilling for Tim Tams.
Shilling for Tim Tams.
Oh boy. All right. Well, we did it, boys. Koalas are on the high grounds. Yeah, well, in the end, the Koalas qualified for BlizzCon, but it was going to be the Pandas that came out on top. So
but
you know who wins in the wild if there was ever a fight. Sure,
and that was kind of the story that Mika put off at the beginning of this series to introduce the teams. But we have both Bears.
I'm sorry, production just whispered in my ear and they said qualified. I can't bring myself to say that, but thank you so much.
Oh my God, okay. So I was just going to say both Bears are in, all right? Koalas and Pandas.
They made it.
It was
secured.
and unfortunately for Denmark, they barely didn't make the cut.
Oh, man. Yeah, boo as well. Production is booing Wolf. I'm booing Wolf, but man, I mean, it feels like that would be, you know, a place to end after that insane series that felt, you know, kind of like a final. But we're not done yet. We still have another game coming up, Wolf. But first, I'll take a look at the highlights coming up. You know, let's go ahead and relive this series because it's absolute insanity.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about the first thing we're going to talk about here is going to be the absolutely phenomenal control of the Paul from McCree. You know, shy as well when swapping over to the Widow on Village. You know, we did see Huss try to retake here, and they had this one really early swap and grab of the point, but it didn't last long. Then it was Leaves McCree here as we moved into the final leg, where they just could not, Trill couldn't make an impact because he was constantly being beat up. I mean, moving into King's Row, there was some hope for Australia at the end when China unfortunately had, you know, what people refer to in the community as a C9. I said it.
Oh,
we're done with the series.
Dirty phrase.
But you know, they stepped off the point, so yeah. Australia had an opportunity for completion, but they got held hard on the streets phase. They were not able to even really get towards B. So kind of just showcasing some of their skills and delays again with the McCree. And it's just, McCree is the big storyline here. It's something that people are going to have to be prepared for when they face China in BlizzCon because 3 of their DPS players can play it fantastically.
Yeah, I've been wanting to talk about how good Yushui was at staying alive, but almost in every single one of these clips, it's of him dying. So finally, a bit of a moment where I could kind of mention that, but you know, we talked about it on the cast. He has been absolutely stellar throughout this weekend, throughout this series. A very solid foundation for Team China as they get ready to move into BlizzCon, and I think that, you know, if you're another team, one of the teams who's already qualified, one of the teams who's going to be playing at the France stop, you got to be taking a look at this guy and be worried about your own play and how you're going to shape up against him.
Yeah, I mean, the guy just will survive through almost anything. We can remember his walk around to survive on the Reinhardt earlier while hacked twice. And CKM just running the Pharah here, and eventually he was matched by Crystal here, which is the first time we really saw that out of Crystal at this event. Oh, this was just over the back. Bam! Yep.
Just knocked it right out of the park with that one. 3 swiftly as Leaf just casually walks up and just double taps them.
So many flanks from this guy on the McCree.
So many McCree players on Team China.
Yep.
Like, we had Chai, Crystal, and Leaf all play it to a T. It was absolutely incredible to see.
Plus having some great moments throughout this tournament. I really want to highlight his Sombra. So good at giving so much information vision. Here's the triple we saw on Lijiang. But Huss has been one of the staples of why I think Shanghai, or not, excuse me, Shanghai, why Australia is finding so much coordinated dive, finding so much success, and are able to, you know, roam around and find success. Yes, as you mentioned, very different teams. I don't know why I said Shanghai there. Australia's won several series. There's a 2 there. Come on.
You got China on the mind.
Like, so.
It's okay.
Anyway, very impressive stuff from Huss, and I wish him and especially Punk all the best moving into BlizzCon.
Yeah. Absolutely sell from them. But guys, that's it from Wolf and I. Like I said before, we've got one more series coming up. Spain versus Thailand. Only one of these teams can walk away without any wins.
That's right.
That's what we're determining here with this one. It should be a fun one. We got Mickey going up against Harry Hook, you know, longtime buddies. So really excited to see how they're going to go up against each other. So don't go anywhere. We're back in just a few minutes.